My name's Andrew Thornton Hick, and I'll be your host today. I'm the ambassador for Havenness magazine and the art ambassador for Margaret River Region Open Studios. On a winter's day like this, when the tallest eucalypts bounce and sway in the wind, I'm sure we can all think of a majestic tree that we love, perhaps one we nod to with equal measure of respect and awe, and feel that sense of marvel at nature deep within us. With that sense of connection and respect for our environment, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional landowners of the land we meet on here today, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, and pay my respects to elders past and present. So we're here today to bathe in the greenscapes of Karina Buckingham and her latest exhibition, Evergreen. But before we jump in, many of you probably know Karina very well, but for those of you experiencing her works more recently, a little bit about Karina. Karina moved to Australia in 2008 from the UK, having been brought up in Suffolk. With 3 children in primary school, she found a way to build a home here with husband David, but then also let her creative passions percolate by completing a fine art degree at Curtin University in 2013. Working in oil at the time, her early work brought trees and shadows into being, starting at the ground level with pools of light and working up into the high canopies with their bursts of foliage. There was an instant awe Karina found in our unique forests on moving here, their spectacular difference to those experienced in her childhood, and so began Karina's unique fascination with landscapes that have since fused with passion and persistence required of any artist forging a path with creativity and vigour. The evolution of her observations, her mark making and painting techniques in relaying those experiences and indeed emotions are what we are surrounded by here today. Her work consistently explores both the seen and the unseen in these majestic treescapes, which now more than ever, we are collectively understanding the need to preserve and protect. But they are also a reflection of Karina herself. They are bright, engaging, positive works that when you look closely, you can almost see Karina's trademark smile. There it is. They make you smile in return. It's a wonderful positive energy that is so apt for this exhibition to be titled Evergreen. Karina works out of her studios both in Wembley Downs and Yellingup Siding, the latter being where she and David also make their own wines, which is a delight to taste when Karina opens her studios for Margaret River Open Studios, and you can try them today. And that's where Karina and I met several years ago. So, we'll jump in. Thank you, Karina. So Karina, there's so much joy and detail in your art journey, but let's start, if I may, with your first visit to Borehamwood Forest. Tell us about that experience.
Oh my. Oh, I can just remember getting there and just being completely overwhelmed by these magnificent trees that were so tall, and then it transported me back to being like a little girl again, and almost like I'm looking at fairies amongst the undergrowth. It was just so magical. I've never been anywhere like it before.
Yeah, you mentioned, is that where that obsession with sort of the positive and negative shapes on the forest floors kind of grabbed you?
Absolutely, and also the trees, when you look up to the top, you just see the shapes of the sky, obsessed by the shapes of the sky. They're always moving, always changing, and then coming down, and then the undergrowth, and you see all these different textures and colours and shapes, and it's just endlessly changing and endlessly fascinating to me.
And how is this different to, say, Bracknell Forest in Suffolk as a kid? A little bit different.
A little bit different, yes. I mean, walking through the woods with my mum and dad and collecting conkers and a totally different experience, but that was very positive to me. Such happy times, like again, carefree childhood, lovely happy memories with family. But trees, they're so different to what we have here with the eucalypts. I mean, you get the pointy, dangly leaves coming downwards, not upwards. Just different shapes. It sort of made the fact that I was in a different country so different to home. It was the trees to me.
And you had those beautiful childhood experiences as well with the horse chestnut trees.
Yeah, that's the horse chestnuts is where the conkers come down, and it's something that we used to go and collect. And they're like these hard, almost like a gum nut, and inside them, there's a few people nodding, they're quite spiky on the outside, and then you peel them out in these big hard orange chestnutty colour, but they're called conkers, and we used to bake them and thread a skewer through them in a string, and you play these games. It's quite violent. I don't think it'd be allowed now. Conker fights, we'd hold a string and you'd smash somebody else's conker. It's a favourite in the playground. Yes.
And so, like, we had Snugglepot and Cuddle Pie growing up here with, Gum Nut Babies and Goannas and so on, and the Bankshman. The Faraway Tree book.
Oh, Enid Blyton and the Faraway Tree. Oh, yes, that was beautiful. This huge tree, and the children all used to go there and then climb up the top, and it would take them away to another world of Fantasyland. And then there was this slide that used to come down inside. It's called the Slippery Slip. Yeah. Lots of fond memories of that.
Yes, there's all these ideas of escapism, but also imagination, and this fascination with trees and forests definitely started perhaps there.
Oh, absolutely.
And then was sort of maybe given a nice sort of shot of adrenaline when you got to the Australian forest.
Absolutely.
Particularly the 5,000 strong archive of tree photos in your phone.
So many. You look through them. Well, I've got 60,000 photos in there, and I would say probably at least half of them would be of trees. Oops. Might need to start deleting some soon.
What I love though is when you search for the word tree in your phone, it brings up the tree photos, but it brings up your paintings as well.
Yes.
Like, how great is that? The algorithm's recognising the work. Do particular trees or locations find themselves in your work, or are they more about transmitting a feeling?
Oh, it's a mixture, I guess. I mean, when I go to down south, for example, maybe we walk to the coffee shop through from our house to Goanna, and you walk through the woods, so, there's trees there. When I'm driving around, there's trees, and they just seem to get inside my head, and I just remember the shapes and the feelings, and especially going through the forest, it's just this beautiful, magical feeling you can't quite quantify. And that's always something that I'm trying to attain in my work.
So, in particular, this body of work, so 16 years in Australia now, 12 years since graduating from Curtin. Tell us about Evergreen, your latest works.
Oh, I think it's been bubbling around inside me for a while. Trees, they just seem to be so important to me and to all of us living here. The climate's getting hotter. There's all these threats there. The shothole borers come in now. There's all these threats, and these trees, they have this chance to help almost save the world. Yeah, there's all these threats, so I feel we need to really protect them. And now you've got the miners coming in and threatening to wipe out loads of the Jarrah forests. And, they do so much for us, so we almost need to protect them now.
Yeah, there's definitely that sense of gratitude. I think every time you're talking about the environment, there seems to be a "we are so lucky" kind of feeling, doesn't it?
Absolutely, because it's like a personal thing. Can you imagine going around Perth and there was no trees? I mean, how horrible a place would it be to live somewhere where there's no trees? So they just add so much to our daily lives and my enjoyment. So yeah, I want to kind of get that across in my work too.
I remember one time down south you said that to me. You said, "Can you imagine life without trees?" I think I walked back to my car, like, just seriously thinking, "Oh my gosh, how could that possibly be?" But yes, no, you're absolutely right. And do you feel like there's a way, or almost like a responsibility from that you take, that you want people to see that in the work? Like they must take that appreciation on board themselves as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think I try and make my work uplifting, so it's a real positive thing, and show the positive side of trees, and I celebrate them with the colours I use and the marks I make. So it's very much a sense of treasuring them and saying thank you in my works in a joyous kind of way, not a negative way, but not, "Oh no, you must do this." We can't take them for granted. And I think I've learned through experience, things can get taken away from you very quickly and very unexpectedly. So we do need to just really never take them for granted. So, yeah.
One of the other things we've talked about before is beyond the joy of colour and obviously the environment, there's those conceptual factors which I think you take on board so well with your work. As interior designers, we sort of see different waves and trends and focuses that shift. We had Marie Kondo telling us to look for what brings joy. We've had Higa from the Danish eco guy from the Japanese, but you taught me about forest bathing, which wasn't like a finished idea of just running naked through a forest somewhere. What was forest bathing about for you, and how did you find that?
Oh, I think I was doing it naturally, just going out there every day, walking amongst the trees, and I just knew that it made me feel better. And then it must have cropped up, I don't know, I saw it online somewhere, and I went, oh, this is actually a thing. It's a real thing, forest bathing. And it was the Japanese who, I guess, formalised it as a concept and encouraged people to go out into the forests and take time out in their week to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city and get back to nature. So it's something that I've tried to incorporate by the pathways going through. So I want to take people on a journey of forest bathing within my work.
And you do this almost every day?
Oh yeah.
Perry Lakes?
Oh yes, Perry Lakes is a favourite of mine. Just walking around the local area, and then down south, always walking and always through trees, and just really, it's just a way to ground, especially if I'm going on my own or with the dogs on my own. It puts life into perspective. It just makes me feel so much better, and then I'm ready to start my day.
Is this the secret to filling your cup?
I think it is.
Positive energy?
I know if I don't walk in the morning, something's not right.
Fantastic. And is it maybe also an opportunity for self-reflection? Like sort of looking inwards as well?
Absolutely. It's that quiet time, isn't it? I don't tend to listen to things in my ears when I walk.
Yeah.
I like listening to the sounds of nature and just letting my mind wander and notice things. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Pausing to look up, I think.
Oh yeah, pausing to look up.
Yeah, I think Karinaism, that's the title of a piece.
Yeah, it could be.
So developing these threads in your work, you've also recently started a certification in forest therapy.
I know, even David doesn't know about this.
David doesn't know?
No, because
Sorry, Dave.
he would think I was a bit crazy taking on something else, but I just, about 2 months ago, I just thought, right, I just want to get this, learn more about forest therapy, not just forest bathing. So forest therapy is like another step on where as a therapist, you would take people through forests and get them to experience with all their senses. So you need somebody there to guide them through. And I just thought this is going to be so fantastic for me as a help to my work, and just getting that deeper understanding even more. And also when I'm doing workshops, I just thought I've got to do this. So I've literally done one module because I've been a bit busy doing this.
So workshops are in the pipeline?
Possibly combining with painting though. It wouldn't be solely forest therapy, but there'd be ways that I can just see ideas coming out of how I can incorporate it in with painting workshops.
So a huge part of the artist's journey, researching both concept and technique, and obviously the forest therapy ties in with that sort of development. Your first show at Kidogo with Kate Floyd in 2018 was inspired by biophilia.
It was called biophilia, inside and out.
Yeah. And so that's, for those of you new to biophilia, it's the innate human tendency to seek connections with nature. And so how did that lead you to start exploring the inside-outside kind of situation?
Yeah, I think from that idea, I thought, well, what we need to do is bring the outside world in, so very much to your landscape painting, your trees, because that will have a positive benefit in people's homes too. So it started that way, I guess.
And I love the idea of saving a memory or keeping that memory in the present.
Absolutely, and back then I was more painting specific places.
Right.
And so it was very much about a memory of a place, as you would know, and translating that into something that people could keep.